Hello guys, this is Dama.82. I am joined here with Aiyon Mark III and Lil Kari, and we're going to be reviewing the ship today, and it was sent to us by Maxmisty122. He is a fellow YouTuber. He's a little green, but I think he's got a lot of potential. So,
Wait. The guy who built this is green, you say?
I said a little green.
If you're green, you don't build a ship in this shape. Just saying.
That's why I said a little green, Aiyon.
Looks a little grey and red to me. I mean, we'll put some green paint on there if you really insist.
Okay, so I think you're going a little bit more literal than I am.
Sorry. I did a funny, yes.
Yeah. Anywho, so just want to give you guys a quick explanation why we haven't been doing these blueprint reviews here very recently. It was mostly that a lot of designs were quickly becoming obsolete by the time we got around to tinkering with them, so that's why we kind of halted that. We're going to bring it back, and hopefully the game mechanics won't get completely screwed to hell while we're trying to do these. But I will leave a link in my description of the video here, so you can come to my Discord and drop off your blueprints, and also I will be providing a link to Aiyon Mark III's video, as well as he is co-recording this.
Yep, feel free to check below my video for the same links, except there'll still be links to Discord for Dama, but it'll also be linked to his channel as well, so you can see this from his viewpoint.
That'd be appreciated. So anything else that we want to add before we get started looking at this? I should also mention that Lil Kari is joining us for the blueprint review today.
Yep.
So are we all good? Do we want to proceed, or do you guys have anything else that you want to add on?
I think if we want to proceed, it's time for initial reactions, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, I also reviewed this ship a bit before. It's a bit different from when I reviewed it.
How so?
Well, the camouflage wasn't there in the first place. There were some other blocks that are now present that weren't there before.
I believe he made some adjustments and re-uploaded it, is what happened.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I noticed the camouflage seems to be a bit spotty on where it is and isn't.
Yeah, I can see that.
It seems like it might be just certain block types or something. Or bits that have been edited.
Yeah, I think that could be the case. I think it also could be the paint, because you could have it... you can go into your paint settings and have it to where the camouflage can come through it or not.
Never really was one for a dazzle kind of camouflage, but this isn't dazzle, is it? This is... What is this?
Actually, it does kind of look like a dazzle. Let me just bring something in for comparison real quick.
That was my first reaction to it, but it's like...
It's not
it's
dazzle.
nice.
It looks like it's. I believe it's zebra.
Don't know. It's a bit broken up for zebra, isn't it?
Dazzle is actually a very specific design pattern where the lines never are uniform.
I believe it's using this camo right here, but I blew up the size of the camo itself, so it would kind of look like a dazzler effect here. But I think that's how he came about getting that.
Okay. Alright.
Anywho, so our initial reactions. Aiyon, how about you lead us off there?
I don't believe he's green. I
think we done established that.
Yeah. Well, my first reaction was, oh cool, it's a battleship. My second reaction was, oh, I see thrusters in the side. So, well, propellers, but I thought thrusters. Potato, potato. They are... I think that is a bit of a weak spot, honestly.
Potentially could be, yes.
There's also some exposed stuff, and it looks like this guy relies a lot on vertical thrust to stay up and stabilize as well. But yeah, my initial reaction was big, beefy warship.
Check out the price tag on it.
I've deliberately had my hood off, and I've not been looking around inside at all. I've only been looking at the exterior so far. Price tag, 1 million materials. I believe it.
Yeah. It's a pretty big boat. Let's see the dimensions here real quick. Almost 200 meters long and a width of 29. That's definitely battleship territory there. Have a look at the guns here. It looked like he went with 400 millimeter. And how big are his autoloaders? Let's just shrink the blocks real quick so we can have a look.
Which one are you looking at?
Oh, I'm just looking at the very front one. I figured they'd probably all be about the same.
Oh, the main
They're
battery
about
guns.
the same.
It looks like he's using 5-meter autoloaders. And he's going with railguns. Okay.
6 meter, actually.
He hasn't turned off rail
1,
rotation.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, you're right, Lokari, my bad. So, he's using hollow point in these front ones. I'm wondering if he's doing like a mixed variety of shells. That's what I like to do with a lot of my designs. Second one's using hollow point. Third one's using hollow point. Okay, let's have a quick look at his main shell here.
Hollow point solid HE war. It's
It
got
hurt.
HE. It's a multi-purpose.
Yeah?
Nearly 20,000 in raw thump on impact as well.
Personally, I would probably go with like AP HE, but if he's happy with it.
I think this is more intended for surface detonation. Strip away exterior equipment and batter the arm plating, rather than just punch through it.
Yeah, well, what I'm suggesting is kind of using a more mixed variety of shells, like go ahead and keep the hollow points and use APHE to try to do internal damage. Something like that.
Well, he does have 3 types of armor piercing and 1 type of heavy shell also on the ship. The question is where he'd use them.
I'm wondering if that might be like... Go ahead, Lokari, what was that?
I would be guessing you're using a form of the heavy shell for the effectively secondary gun on the back of the ship.
Oh, you mean the one up in the superstructure?
Yeah.
The one on the... Yeah, armor piercing 4 is the one he's using. It looks like...
AP, yeah, that's APHE. With
yeah, but it's
Dragon
using a
Black.
10 fuse, yeah. I think it's just meant to be an anti-aircraft one, though. If you want to get more out of it for like area of effect, you might want to switch that solid warhead out to HE or frag.
I think it's an anti-surface / anti-air hybrid because it's got the 3 meter mantlets.
I suppose,
yeah.
yeah.
But it does have a laser targeter to set the thing.
Yeah, I found which of the guns using that has the heavy heads. It's the 3.78 centimeter guns.
17.78. Which ones are those?
3.7 centimeters, I said.
Oh, the these armored...
dimpled.
yeah. He really likes the casemates too, it seems.
No, I mean there's plenty of secondary guns and things on.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
What would they be tertiaries given us a battleship?
I would consider casemates in the secondary and anti-aircraft in the tertiary role, but that's completely up to interpretation to whoever's building it, I guess.
I think AA might be its own designation.
Yeah.
Besides, tertiary's got all these 50 cal AA guns on mounted on it as well. Look at these things.
He also has several missiles all over the ship.
Yeah, I saw a bank of torpedoes here about the middle of the ship that seemed to deploy out the bottom.
In the sides of the ship, those are actually missile interceptors.
I thought that might have been the case. I saw one of those hatches up there. One quick thing Oh, go ahead, Aiyon.
No, just very high agility. I mean, they're almost entirely
Yes.
thin.
One thing I want to note about the torpedoes that fire at the bottom here, the way he's got these hatches, that's going to cause a little bit of drag. A lot of times what I like to do nowadays is try to recess these into the hull by like maybe 1 meter just to reduce the drag on it. Just a kind of a min-maxing thing.
A slight alternate approach would be to have a bulge of 1 meter around it.
That could work too, yeah.
So.
Like put some 4-meter slopes around it, that could work.
Yeah, I don't think he has the space to really recess the system any further because of how he's got his internal armoring layered.
Yeah, that is an excellent point. Wonder what kind of speed this thing is. Actually, 26 meters a second. That isn't too bad with the fact that he's using just the stock huge props here.
Oh, so he is. I'm so used to you just slapping steam propellers on things.
Yeah, I've been really liking the crank motors and the fact that you can kind of daisy chain them together with the bands to try to get more speed out of it. Looks like he's got a hidden jet thruster here at the top. I'm imagining he's trying to squeeze a little extra speed out of this thing. It's like behind the second turret on the rear. Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead, Aiyon.
I just checked. It says it's allowed for visual effects, so that means that it'll have a flare, a plume coming out of it.
If he's fine with it. I mean, it's his baby after all. But yeah, you can go in here and turn off the particle effects, and you could probably even use some decos to hide that if you wanted to make it look more like it's not there.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe think about doing that with the turning propellers.
Mm-hmm.
Because those in
I was going to
particular are
suggest
quite
that too,
vulnerable.
yeah.
They're very vulnerable in ship-to-ship combat. They're very likely to get damaged, if I'm honest.
I think they might do a little bit better too if they could be moved to the forwardmost and rearmost portions of the ship. Looks like in the bow you would probably have a lot of room to put several turning thrusters in there. You'd probably get a bit more power out of them that way too. In the back, I think it's a completely different story because he's got like some ammo storage back here, and what else? It looks like he's got his batteries here too. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to know?
He does have empty space in the front, it looks like. I mean, I'm checking it out with the cutting tool right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's showing some empty areas towards the front there.
This is some thick decking too.
I do love me some reinforced decking.
Yeah, but it's like 4 meters thick decking. He must be really scared of crams.
Or plunging fire.
Mm.
Or aircraft attack. There are many things that could cause a problem.
Usually I get by with maybe 2 layers of deck armor, like light alloy and then the reinforced decking on top of it. That's just a personal preference of mine.
Ooh, that's a potential problem.
What's that?
I've just found that the forwardmost propellers for turning,
Mm-hmm.
they're actually mounted onto part of the armoring for one of the ammo magazines.
Ooh. Yeah,
So
that...
if it's being attacked and it's angling towards its target at 45 degrees, then that means that propeller is probably going to be a write-off real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one AP ran through that, and he's probably going to lose a turret. Though these ducks do have a lot of health, though.
True, but a penetration round could knock through.
It's got a health 2,450 and armor of 40, so trying to get a shell through that probably isn't going to be that hard if it's like full-on AP.
Well, got to bear in mind the exterior armor in that section is actually pretty weak as well. The only real armor there is the armor of the magazine itself. So, kind of thin around the other turning propellers as well.
Yeah, if you want some space efficiency, you probably could just go like maybe a layer or two of heavy behind that just to kind of absorb damage a little bit better, but that's just my thought on that.
Yeah. My thought is the prow could be armored up a bit better, and the fans could be recessed to help ensure they survive better. There's also what you mentioned about turning force, like having them more towards the front after the ship, though the aft is... what is that?
Aft would be a little bit tougher to do, but he could definitely install them in here and hide them with mimics, I think. No, actually the whole back of it is just like one solid block, isn't it?
Storage. Yeah, it's material storage.
Okay.
Why is that back there?
No clue.
Quite an unusual choice. If you're in a stern chase and you're being hounded by someone, that's the area that's going to get blown up.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of people would try to put things like that into the citadel of the ship. At least that's what I try to do usually.
I have actually just found there's a whole bunch of material containers in the middle of the ship as well, in the system. So that might be extra ammunition storage, type material storage.
I think it should be noted though that he probably has a bit too much material storage. This is like 1.3 million. He could probably get by with maybe a tenth of that, unless he's just like running some very inefficient stuff.
Maybe this design is meant to be able to like scavenge absolutely anything it comes across in terms of battlefield salvage, and then just carry it safely back.
I could see that, yeah.
I mean, I doubt that this thing, when stocked in a campaign situation with limited resources, would be stocked like massively.
Yeah.
Not with 1 million resources.
It
you
just
might as well get another chip for that.
It just seems like it's real estate that could be better spent on placing the ammo and the fuel that he's got in the back. That's kind of my thing on that right now. Any thoughts on the lambs?
I spotted it, but I was deliberately avoiding it until you rolled the review onto that.
Mm-hmm.
The lamb system is...
He's got like 3 different queues on this. Or 3 different queue settings.
He's gone for one very long layout,
Mhm.
but yeah, multiple queues on it. I wonder why he's done that.
We could do some combat testing with it here in a little bit, see how it performs.
I think we really should, yeah, just to
Yeah.
see how it does, because I've never really tried to build a unified laser system with different queue switches in it. So
Yeah. Let me get rid of Battle Him here. It's probably going to take a minute to
Oh, I have a thought.
what?
Maybe it is to try and add a bit of versatility to it. Swarm of small missiles, the high Q ones help deal with that.
I could see
Big
that.
missiles, the heavier Q will give it a decent chance of doing something to that. So, more of a hybrid situation?
Possibly. Though, that's just something I don't really see a whole lot of. So. It's something that I kind of experimented with, but not to this extent.
I mean, he even has a 0 Q in him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there was a 0 Q, a 1 Q, and a 2 Q in there.
He's got a 0 Q, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2 Qs and 2 1 Q. Not a 3 or 4 Q in sight.
Okay.
Heresy. Heresy! Oh, actually, that's not.
I'm just not entirely sure if that was a mistake, for lack of a better term, or if that was intentional.
No, there's actual physical gaps where the Q switches were mounted.
Okay.
So it's not lack of space.
Okay. I imagine he might have some issues with the superstructure being pretty heavy.
I think the beam laser is literally just like small missile swarms, because its DPS is only 180. It's only
Speaking
got
of lamps,
one line of that.
you probably noticed something very interesting with one of them,
Mm-hmm.
where it literally sits in between 2 guns.
I think I've seen that.
Sits between 2 guns.
Yeah.
Where am I looking?
The A in the
Oh,
front.
never mind. Found it. There's one in the back as well.
Yep.
Interesting. So it might get in the way of that one slightly.
Hmm.
Also, single pixel infrared seeking missiles.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that I use those. I know Heitzmeister's a huge fan of them, but
They look cool.
yeah.
Turning thruster for rapid deployment, 5 fins. My suggestion would be actually to move 3 of those fins forward to improve turning performance on these missiles. Just because you get better turning effect if you have the fins on either end of missiles.
You know, I have actually toyed around with some designs where I put turning thrusters on the front and back and used turning fins, and those things will turn on a dime and catch about anything.
So that said, of course, there is always the aesthetic, the classical look of a missile with just big front fins at the back of it. That's purely an FTD mechanical thing. Though real-world missiles do go either way, depending on which missile it is.
Mm-hmm.
Munition warner tucked into there. Okay. A lot of repair drones. This thing is meant to take a beating.
Yeah, I was
repair
about to-
drones are exposed.
Yeah, I was about to say those repair bots they probably need better protection than this. I believe they're like, what, 100 materials each? Something like that?
Embedded in the armor in
Yeah.
the superstructure.
You might want to try placing that somewhere a little bit different where they're less likely to be damaged. Lots of RTGs in here.
I remember I used to think repair drones needed clear access to get to things. It was a long time before I realised that's not the case, and they can just be put literally anywhere.
I think we all went through that phase, Aiyon.
No, repair drones used to require clear access.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a really old fogey when it comes to this game.
You have been playing
So-
it longer than the both of us, so.
I remember things that used to be, but are not anymore. like how the predecessor to the cram cannon was the custom cannon, and the more you built on it, the bigger the shell was, and literally the faster it fired as well. It was broken as heck.
Oof.
Yeah.
Potential issues with the engines in here, where the torpedoes are.
The forward engine bank, you mean? What's it with them?
They don't seem like they're being vented externally. Oh, maybe they are. I've just seen a bunch of exhaust pipes that just go to nowhere, but he might have them strung together. It's kind of hard to tell because it's a bit spaghetti in here.
Yeah.
No, I found exhausts that aren't going anywhere.
That could be causing some venting issues. It looks like he just ran pipes all the way up to the funnels up top.
What do those exhaust then? Those exhaust some of it, but not. Looks like it's taken a sample small engine and slaps it in over and over.
Yeah, I thought it kind of looked like they might be prefab myself. I wonder if it's under the prefab engines in here. Maybe the Economax? Nope. This is something... I thought it might be one of the engine prefabs, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
No, I mean...
Because I can't seem to find one that matches.
It looks similar to an Ecomax 100 until you compare them, and it's bigger. So I think these are custom-built engines. I just don't see where the exhaust piping is going.
It goes out the top.
No, all of the engines have included exhaust pipes that literally don't go anywhere.
Oh yeah, the ones that look like they got little mufflers on the ends. Yeah, I saw those.
Yeah, it's like he started to unify the exhaust system and then stopped.
Yeah, definitely might want to have another look at that, because if your engine overheats, then you're going to lose lots of power.
Yeah.
Just drop it in the water and see what it does when it's actually under load.
Okay. For its size, it's getting pretty decent speed. It's actually a lot thinner than a lot of my battleships.
Doesn't seem to be blocking, actually. At least the exhausts aren't claiming they're being blocked.
Well, we're not really putting a lot of stress on them either. You might want to make sure it doesn't hit the... Actually, let me just put God mode on it, so it doesn't, like, detonate the moment it hits the platform there. So this is just kind of something that I like to do with my exhaust, and I see a lot of other people do it, but I like to route mine down to the
underside of the ship?
Yes. That right there is going to be basically dragging a lot of heat-seeking weaponry to it, and if he happens to get any breaks in the line going up into there, the engines won't be vented properly and they'll overheat. So that was a concern I wanted to point out real quick.
Yeah, I do that as well. I mean, I'm looking at the exhaust up in the top of the ship, and it's just past 230 degrees.
If he's done that to purposely try to draw missiles away, I could be okay with it. It just...
Well, the problem is that that's actually right by a bunch of his detection.
So you don't want to drag missiles into your detection, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean...
I'd agree with that.
The detection upon the map is actually very vulnerable.
I think that's most of its detection, if anything at all. So as soon as he gets taken out, his ship's going to be blind.
Is that really most of his detection?
Yeah, that's most of the detection I can see. The turrets themselves all have coincidence rangefinders, it seems, except for the centerline secondary turret here on the back. 130 some odd millimeter 6-barrel APS back here.
Alright. What's the next system then? Because we've been poking at the lambs, we've been looking at the main cannons, got the engines, we've been looking at the... We haven't actually looked at the armor composition, have we?
I was actually about to suggest that.
Yep. So that means we're going to use the COPPA. We do
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So that was probably a bad place to count it from. 1,
Looks like main belt armor
4,
is 6
5,
meters. Broken up into two layers with oblique plating in the middle. Slightly weaker internal versus external.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like he's using the applique as a spall liner, and there's like 3 layers in front of that.
Yep. He's doing what I used to do: solid metal armor.
It'll probably work pretty good early
Oh, yeah,
campaign.
yeah. Cheap and cheerful.
Mhm.
Then the deck is reinforced decking followed by multiple layers of metal. Lots of diagonal armor around the citadel, which is good. People sometimes overlook that.
But personally, and this is just what I do with my designs, I try to keep a lot of the parts above the top of the deck. I try to do that in alloy, just to try to save on some weight. The statistics here, if you look at a metal beam, it's just slightly less than alloy, and that's just a material that I like to use to try to lower the center of mass when I'm making a superstructure. But again, that's a personal preference.
Is anyone in control of weapon groups right now?
I don't believe so.
Nope. I'm currently set on none.
Okay, so we got a clipping issue.
Oh.
The hex barreled 71mm can't turn.
Which one?
Secondary battery in the side mounts.
Yeah.
Barrel guns, they can't turn apparently.
How much can they turn, if at all?
They can't. They can elevate the barrels and that's it.
Okay, yeah, might want to have a look at that then.
Also, they only have 2 meters of metal armor protection as well, so they're actually going to get killed.
I was just looking at that actually.
They just moved. They just moved. Someone did have control of them.
Oh, they can
Someone
move.
has
How about
control.
that?
Someone has control.
Yeah, that was me.
Wait, was that all control?
It's shown on my end that it can completely turn.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the turret bases aren't set in the firing group then.
It could very well be.
Yeah.
And I believe these guns here, with the 2 meter AA mantlets, I think those might be CWIS guns. No, they're doing double duty. He's got the CWIS controller and a local weapon controller in these. What kind of shell does this have? Armor piercing head, HE warhead body, frag warhead body, time fuse. Okay. So this is just a jack of all trades shell that he's using here. He could probably ditch some of this cooling though. He's got enough for like 500 RPM, but this thing does just a little under 400.
Which kind of battery are you looking at?
The 6-barreled cannons that are mounted on the left and right side of the superstructure.
Let's see, 512, cooling 146. Yeah.
Huh. He did a pancake for the. Let's see here. The 71mm.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think might need a bit better protection for Hesh and heat. Can these even turn
What else worth noting? We're actually trapped in here.
in the bridge?
Yeah. Oh, managed to glitch out, but. Oops. Very compact looking. And I still question his deck. I've fallen off the ship. I was jumping up the side of the ship, and then I left the ship's grid apparently, so the ship sailed away without me. I'm back though, don't worry. I'll try this. Apparently I'm controlling multiple guns. That's a good rate of fire on them.
They're doing 114. Not terrible.
I like the sound of them. Meaty.
Yeah, they're using 2-meter loaders, so they're gonna hurt. But around the neck of that turret, though, I think it's gonna get torn up
Yeah.
pretty easily.
This ship leans more into styling. It's kind of slender, actually, for the amount of weaponry it's got on it. I didn't think I'd say that, because that's literally how I used to build ships, but...
Do we want to do some combat testing?
We do, yes,
Might
because
as
we
well.
need to... Go ahead, look high.
I said might as well.
Alright, so do we want the... do we want to have the ship on God mode or not?
No.
We do... oh, are we testing armor at the same time?
Might as well.
Alright, Dama, if you could despawn your fort, please.
Sure.
As well as everyone turn off their tentacles.
Yes, that's probably wise.
Alrighty, I'm kind of curious to see what this thing will do. We need to test it with something with missiles, because we want the answer to that AMS mystery, or laser system.
Well, I was thinking of testing it with a crossbones first, and then just kind of move on up the ladder.
I was about to say crossbones first, then trebuchet.
Okay. Let me grab a crossbones then.
That was loud.
Ooh.
Lots of firepower.
Yeah, it managed to get a lot of those crams that came in there. I think it knocked out like 5 out of 6. What it looked like.
I like the Dakar.
First one made a pretty big crater though in the side. Or the one that hit anyway.
Guess what? That hit right on one of the. Someone's got repair tentacles on.
Not me.
Yeah, mine are turned off.
Mine are off as well.
Yeah, I just double checked mine, they're off.
Yeah, mine were off as well. So, who knows? But yeah, that shell hit directly on the central turning propeller on that side.
It's either you or Little Kari, but
I have mine turned off.
Mine are off.
you say that, but I am seeing the tentacles coming out of one of y'all's backs, and you're all occupying the same spot there.
It is
That'd
Little
be,
Kari.
yeah.
Or turned it off.
That's okay. Just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. It should be
go
noted
through
it took down the crossbones pretty quick there. We barely got to see any action.
What's the price difference between these two?
Let me see here. The crossbones, I think, is like what? Yeah, it's almost 500,000 materials. Actually, more like 450,000.
So slight weight advantage.
Yeah,
No better to spawn two.
literally and financially.
Yeah, it'd be slightly more even to spawn two crossbones.
But the projectile. No, that's not what I want to say. The anti-munition system seemed like it was doing pretty well against those cram shells.
Yeah, I mean, apart from that shell that got through, it's not really taking any hits, has it?
Yeah. So we want to try the trebuchet next.
All right.
Let's see here. Trebuchet. You might want some heat protection in those turret necks. Oh, something big blew up.
That was some of those secondary batteries in the side that I said only had 2 meters of armor.
Uh-huh.
They just went up in smoke.
Yeah.
The laser AMS is doing wonderfully at the moment, so very strong. I'm going to have to take note of that multi-queue system, I think. I like it.
Yeah, it might be worth playing with. Lately,
Makes it more flexible.
lately on a lot of my ships, I just been doing a what is it called? A zero Q lamb. So that usually seems to be a pretty good catch-all, but this is a much more compact system than what I'm using. Is the AI on for this? Yeah, it's like hitting the side of the world here and bouncing off of it.
It's because it's trying to back off.
Yeah.
The enemy ship is trying to chase it.
Yeah.
Doing a pretty good job.
How about we just destroy all vehicles and restart this? Because, yeah, with the bouncing off the wall, we're not going to get the kind of results I think we're looking for.
Yeah.
All right. So let's
I'm
just.
sorry to say this warship's ability to dodge to the side like that is not an intended feature.
I would probably have to agree with that. Yeah.
I'd also suggest spawning enemies to our southwest. That's next time.
Southwest.
So that's towards the corner of the map. So our ship, when it backs off, goes the opposite direction.
I'm just trying to fly the camera out a little ways to where there's not a lot of islands and whatnot around. Okay.
Fair enough.
Now if I can find that ship again. I did like how the hull looked, though. I thought he did pretty good on that.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, I'm kind of a sucker for the Dreadnought era stuff there, so... I really need to get back to work on Dominion of Dama.
I still miss the Rexarias.
There we go.
You are right by the edge of the map.
Am I?
Yes.
Oh, not bad. Okay, let's try that again. I thought I was going north and east.
No, you're just going straight east.
Okay, well, let's try this shit again. I think the turret necks for the mains, especially, seem like they might need a little bit more protection. Might want to do something like maybe poles around them, or just some kind of a spall liner to stop heat and hash.
Those secondaries and the sides are incredibly vulnerable.
Yes, they were.
Any kind of armor piercing or just a hard enough standard hit, 2 meter armor can't really stand up to battleship grade weaponry very well.
Alright, let's see if this is a better spot.
And also,
How's that?
reposition those. Oh, that's much better. Reposition those turning propellers as well, I would say, because the first direct hit from a cramshell literally blew one of them off the side of the ship.
Yes. Alright, so we ready for another bout with the trebuchet? Alright, here we go.
Go ahead, credit. The laser and missile countermeasures are pretty solid on this guy. And the armoring around the citadel is also very strong. Or should I say beefy?
Beefy, strong, same thing.
Ooh, there went something.
That was one of the secondary guns going up again.
Yeah. This is just an opinion here, so... What's that at?
The multi-barrel turret is also gone as well.
Yes. These /AA guns? Are you talking about...
repair tentacles are on. I think we can say the repair tentacles are just multiplayer shenanigans at this point.
Possibly, yes.
Oh, incoming torpedo. Oh dear.
Did the torpedo interceptors not get launched?
No.
They did, but it was probably too late. Oh, hell. They got launched, and then they, like, didn't do anything.
Where are they? Torpedo interceptors.
Yeah, they got, like, maybe about 500 meters out and just stopped. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, what torpedo interceptors?
Yeah, those aren't torpedo interceptors. Those are missile interceptors.
Yeah, the ship's down pretty hard at the moment.
Yeah, the back is currently missing. I think a couple of the propellers have stopped turning.
Let me do something here real quick. What's the price tag on the trebuchet? Yeah, the trebuchet is like 500,000 materials less than this ship.
It is actually doing a decent job this time because, yeah, I think the we've not lost an AI, have we?
I don't remember.
Well, the weapon.
There's two of them that are still active.
We might have lost the nav AI then. If a forward drive isn't working, then that means nav AI is gone. We're not turning either. Oh wait, no, hang on. We are turning.
Potential issue with the torpedoes. They probably need a bit more spacing out, or they're just going to blow each other off course when they hit.
Yeah, they are firing in...
Like right after each other. Oh, it hit 2 damaged. How about that?
What did?
The trebuchet. It's 2 damaged right now. And the Saturn class is at 86, so okay.
Yeah. That said, the Saturn class has kind of been savaged a bit.
Yes.
It's lost about 150,000 worth of materials in terms of its value.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those detection masts has been blown off as well.
Mm-hmm.
The other one's still there.
Yep.
Well, that was actually quite interesting. Rear material storage did get breached.
We were kind of expecting that, though, I think.
We were in a stern chase situation, which this happened to turn out. So this craft is it seemed to fare better when it was aggressively approaching its target, not when it was backing off.
Yeah.
Is that the only place that ammo is stored on here? Is the rear? Nope, there's a little bit here in the bow, I think.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at the craters from those torpedo impacts.
Yeah, those were kind of nuts, weren't they?
Hmm.
But with the interceptors, I'm not entirely sure if he was intentionally had these set to missiles, or he just didn't put the torpedo propellers on them.
Or if a game update's screwed with the settings of it.
That is very likely as well. But he's got the variable thruster and turning thruster on here, so maybe it was meant to be anti-missile?
Maybe.
I think it might have been. Though that said, it was also set very low to the waterline. As soon as the ship started sinking,
yes, that
it couldn't fire them anymore.
that made me immediately think that they were torpedo interceptors, but I guess that was not the case.
Yeah, unfortunately, at the point where you said that, the lower deck was underwater at that point. But the Citadel though got kind of gutted.
Yes.
Not the Citadel, the superstructure got kind of gutted.
I think that was mostly from his CUs/AA guns going off more than anything.
Not really. I think it's repeated hits to the general area. The guns were actually torn out very quickly.
Those shells had frag warheads in them, and I just saw like a whole wave of frag come out of that when it went up.
The first time it got knocked out, it didn't seem to do much internal damage. So I think it is more repeated hits than the actual guns going up. But that's just me, I suppose. Because there is some armor around the guns. It's just not much. It's intact enough now that it is staying afloat again.
I'm kind of wondering though if you might benefit more from a smaller gauge shell, like maybe a 50mm.
In those side mounts?
Just for the faster rate of fire.
Well, it depends on what the intended target is, doesn't it?
Well, I imagine it'd be missiles, crams, and planes. That would be my educated guess.
Why was he got these things set up for? Actually, the turret's currently dead, so we can't check. He does have a lot of smaller caliber guns dotted around, though.
Yeah. Those 50 caliber guns, they look like they were pulling double duty too, because if you look just behind them, they got the CUS controller and all-in-one controller.
Yeah, I spotted that. Yeah, they are set prioritized, so if there's incoming missiles, they'll prioritize those.
I doubt they would do all that much to a missile.
I
I haven't really
help.
messed with trying to use them as CUs, but that's like one of the weakest guns in the game. In my opinion, anyway.
Quantity over quality.
I
You
suppose.
just have multiple racks of them after all, and it could literally just be like every little helps kind of situation.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. He's also spending about 200 materials for each one of these 50 caliber machine guns, so he can have the all-in-one COS and all-in-one regular weapon controller behind them all.
Might as well swap them out for grenade launchers with high-X shells in them.
Maybe.
Though I do find the appearance of them appropriate. I'll say that for it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Right, do we have anything else we wish to add to this review?
Well, he probably needs some dedicated torpedo defenses.
Yeah, once the torpedoes started getting through and sank part of the ship, his defenses became a lot
Well,
less effective.
if you look between the very bottom and, like, right here in the middle, there's a pretty big air gap in there that he could probably fit a lot of those kinds of things into. So he's got the room for it.
Passive or active protection.
Yeah, probably need some passive sonar for that. Actually, does he have any passive radar? I'm not seeing any. That would probably help with the COS. And let me check something here real
Well,
quick.
when I mean by passive or active, I mean either active torpedoes that seek out other torpedoes to destroy, or sonar decoys just drop into the water, or passive.
Yeah, I could do both. I've seen people do both. Alright, any other things of note that we wish to discuss?
It did look pretty cool when it was going full bore into a fight.
Do we want to have it fight anything else?
I think we've got some pretty solid combat testing done.
Okay.
Not against a peer vessel, but interesting results regardless, I would say.
I mean, I might have some peer vessels for it, but
We also want to consider review time as well, because
I know.
we're approaching 50 plus minutes.
Yeah, it looks like about, almost an hour or so. Do you guys think we have sufficiently covered this craft then?
Yep.
Okay, Aiyon?
I do like the impact shells in the main cannons, because I'm a bit of a fan of hollow point detonated explosive warheads.
Mm-hmm.
We've already touched on a lot of the other weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
The missile turrets, I think, are overexposed because they're in roughly the area where a lot of high-X weaponry goes, so they get blown to pieces real quick. And there is the armoring issues we covered as well, but yeah.
You think the missiles might benefit a bit more if they were vertically launched?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I use this kind of mounted missile turret on some of my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but it's generally considered disposable because it's so vulnerable to getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to actually protect it, you want to recess it into the armor layers or stuff like that, rather than having it exposed on these turrets. So
Yeah.
these turrets, they basically just went into battle and died. That was about it.
Did they even launch at the enemy ship there? I didn't see.
I think they did, but then they exploded as soon as return fire came in.
Mm.
I didn't really see much of them. I almost entirely saw cannon shots.
Okay, so my final thoughts, unless anyone has anything else they want to share. I'll take that as a no then. Probably some better positioning of the ammo and batteries, like how he's got here in the back and in the front. The turret necks, I think they need a bit better armoring, especially something that'll prevent them getting chopped off at the neck, for lack of a better term. Maybe some kind of a spall liner. Might want to do something different with the AA COS guns here in the middle, because they seem like they like to chain detonate. What else? Armor
Actually, I
was
do have a
pretty
note on
good.
that.
What's up?
I do have a note on that.
Yes.
I think maybe you overcommitted on the primary cannons, because this goes straight back into the armoring issue.
Mhm.
The superstructure is just too narrow to really protect what you've got, so I would suggest beefing that up a bit.
Maybe like another 2-3 meters armor.
Yeah, make the decks where the turrets are mounted 2 or 3 meters thicker.
Yeah.
They'd be a lot better protected.
Something else I wanted to. Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. What were you going to say?
I was going to say you can do that without really affecting the, without having to change the basic hull shape as well.
Mhm.
But it would take up some of what is obviously deck space.
Mhm.
So I think I mentioned this earlier. This design is actually kind of narrow for the kind of ship it's trying to be.
Again, the superstructure, I'd probably do that in alloy just to save weight and make it a little bit more buoyant. Actually, I really like using alloy as a building material because it just means that you gotta use the down props to keep you buoyant. What else? Yeah, these center line secondary gun, probably might want to try to better protect that. That's kind of all I can think of off the top of my head right now. So I guess we're good for wrapping up?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, with that said, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you like what you've seen here today, please let us know with a like, comment, or even better, subscription. You'll have yourselves a hell of a day, and keep your hammer high. Also, go check out Aiyons' video.
Also, go check out Damadoc's video.
Also go check out Aiyons and Damadoc's video.
Also, go check out Lil Kai's video.
I wasn't recording.
Shh, that's meant to be a secret. You meant to send them searching desperately through YouTube to find your point of view with this.
What, you mean he hasn't told you about the cam stuff he does on Pornhub?
No, actually. No, I need to
Oh, okay.
I'm now curious. Oh my god, Pornhub.
Okay, I think we better stop there before this degrades any further.
Alright. Later, guys.
Later.
Hopefully that doesn't get struck.